Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome, my gorgeous Aries. Welcome to a special reading for you. This is going to be for Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Um, I know many of you are intuitively guided. I read through my spirit guides and they connect to your guides. So, I often feel like they know you're going to be here before you know you're going to be here. And I feel like, if you follow the channel, then you're learning to trust your intuition more and more. And that means sometimes, like, you'll see a sign and you'll be like, okay, well, I'm not in Aries. But then the title or the thumbnail, because I really try to, like, use them to give you a clue what the reading is about. Like, you know what I mean? So something may grab your attention and you click on it and think, well, I'll give it a minute or two. And next thing you know, my readings are not short, um, but they unfold is what they do. And then everything fits. You know what I mean? It's like exactly what you needed to hear. That is your spirit guides. That is how your spirit guides work. And the more that we learn to just trust that process, trust what we're feeling, you know, because many of us would be like, you know what? I don't have Aries, so even though that resonates to my soul, I'm going to keep moving, which is fine. You know, um, you guys will find another way. But yeah, so anyway, so sometimes the whole reading is like many different messages. And again, they unfold. So that's why they're longer because, sometimes we have to know where we've been to know where we're going or to understand. And then think about how, for those who, again, know me, it's an energy reading, is what it really is. Soul to soul, soul to soul. So you should feel it. You should feel it. Um, Anyways, some of you are in love with an Aries platonically, romantically. Shout out to my friend on March 22nd. And then I just realized that Sam's son, Sam, he's not a junior, but Sam, his birthday, all I know is I used to think he was a Taurus, but he's actually an Aries. So, um, and interesting because thinking of my friend on the 22nd and Sam's son, and they're very different. So again, that can be a great reminder that just because someone has a sign, and maybe you dated another person with that same sign, don't assume that they're the same. Their moon, their rising, their day of birth, their life path number, their personal year number. There's a lot, you know, there's a lot to go in that goes into making us us. Um, anyway, so let me go ahead and get into your reading. Um, I would just take a moment or two and just calm your energy. Good time to do some deep breathing. I don't know why I'm being very like zen in your energy or in your reading. I'm going to pause it just 1 second. Okay. Um, Interesting. The doors started just like opening on its own. And I don't know, Sam was like there with a question. So I paused, got up, and he wasn't there. So I went and found him. I said, "Did you just come in my room?" And he said, "No." So I don't know. Um, it's going to be one of those types of readings. Aries, I feel like, um, let me just say, I feel like July is going to be a great month for you. and I'm excited to do your July reading. I was actually going to make this your July reading, and I thought, no, it's too early. Not that it really matters because I really believe time is fluid. You know, when your soul is ready to hear a reading, um, then you'll hear it. You know, again, soul to soul. So sometimes that could be a year later. You know what I mean? But again, just resonates. But anyway, what was I saying? Um, oh yeah, I just feel like July is going to be like a very uplifting time for you, a time of like exploration. You're out there. Um, you know, I feel like you're seeking, and whatever you're seeking, ye shall find. But it may be different than what it is you're seeking. So keep your mind open to that. Um, but I also feel like there will be energy seeking you. So it's not like I need to go out and be somewhere to like receive. I feel like you're going to receive like on many different levels. All right. So that just came to me. Um, let's go ahead and get into your reading. So we'll give Mother Mary the honor of opening up your reading. We'll use the Gilded Tarot to clarify and go deeper. I'm going to use the Universal Tarot for your main spread, and we will use major arcanas for bullet points. So I'm going to do this as a full reading. I would say it's timeless. You know, I do have to say that I felt like there was a lot of you calling out, like energetically, for a little help. And this reading may be something that feels like at the nick of time. All right, Mother Mary. She's like, yes, my child. Caring, caring. You know, it's interesting. What just came to me is you do care about the underdog, and sometimes to a fault. And what I mean by that is, I feel like sometimes you can get yourself in trouble one way or another because you could have cared for the wrong person. Well, I don't know if I want to say the wrong person, but maybe. Um, but I feel like not only does it like open up the opportunity to hurt you, but then is it causing, well, I don't feel like, because what I'm talking about, I don't feel like is uplifting anything or anyone, including yourself. Actually, I think it's causing you more harm than good. And so I think what I'm saying is just be careful that who you give to, you know, who you want to help, that's truly what's happening. You know what I mean? That you're not being taken advantage of, I guess. You know, not that I think you're naive, but that's just the way you are. You want to help the underdog, and it's a beautiful thing. Okay, so anyway, caring. Heaven cares for me, and I keep my heart open to caring about myself, others, and the world. You know, maybe I'm saying that because your efforts, um, you know, where or who you choose to give to, maybe there are other avenues that could use that and would benefit. And again, I feel like whatever is benefiting is also benefiting you. What is hurting is also hurting you, but maybe also others. Okay. All right. Major arcanas. This gives us a great clue at the energy. Sometimes the storyline we're about to read or it's about to unfold for us. This really is like your movie to me. And remember, you're the director, you're the writer, you're the creator, you're even the actor. And everything and everyone else is just playing a part. Look at that. Beautiful. Sun. Well, that feels like a promise of a new day, new energy. We have the Hierophant. You have Leo and Virgo. No, I'm sorry, Leo and Taurus. Hierophant is about your faith, your beliefs, your morals. It's 5. I often feel like it really wants us to question it. And, your faith is being illuminated. That can be a great thing. The number one thing would be truth. And I often feel like this Hierophant's about to give a blessing. So let's see. Look at this. Hello, Will. Hello, Destiny. This woman is blindfolded. So it's like, hello, blind faith. But the sun is illuminating it. So even though, and it's interesting because I feel like what this is saying is, you know, believe in taking chances because that's what she's doing. She's taking a chance here because wherever the wheel lands is what or will or where I go. But the sun illuminating that and the Hierophant blessing that, well, that just feels, even though I may be taking a chance, it feels like exactly what I'm meant to do. Exactly what I'm meant to do. So there's definitely going to be illumination. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, again, your faith, but more your belief. And I think it's more the belief in, like, all is possible. All right, let's bring in the universal tarot and let's go deeper. Look at that. We have the moon. Interesting, we have the sun and the moon, the masculine and the feminine. Whether that be of oneself or literally the masculine and the feminine, the moon. We have the 8 of Cups. That's about emotional clarity. It's interesting, they're both, well, the moon is ruled by Cancer, no, Cancer is ruled by the moon. Um, and the 8 of Cups really is a card of Cancer. So it's interesting, we have like potentially double Cancer here. But anyway, it looks like there's emotional clarity, and it feels like where there was once none, now it's like the sun is illuminating it for you. It feels like it's giving you some type of clarity that allows you to potentially maybe have a new beginning. Remember, eight's the number of infinity. It is about new beginnings. The sun comes up, right? Brand new, we hope, every morning. The moon can be very dreamy energy, but I kind of feel like it feels more of like, I just want to say for a few of you, I feel like there could be something you've been doing at night that soon you'll be doing during the day. So I don't know if that's like a night hustle, like maybe a business or, something I've been putting my effort into that may become like the main hustle. Again, the illumination over that. It's really speaking about your emotions, but I do feel that. Um, I do feel that for a few, like this, like something done at night is coming to the forefront during the day, and that feels like a good thing. This person's on their way of finding inner harmony after maybe some shadows. Even as Cancer, this person is like heading towards the sun, right? And it's almost like Cancer heading into Leo. The moon's a card of Pisces, so okay. But look at that. Sun again. Interesting. Double Leo. Double the fun. That's what it feels like. Double the fun. Like good, clean fun. Like the Hierophant's like good, clean fun. It feels like a new beginning, a new start. After what's might have been difficult. It just feels that way, like this dark cloud is just shifting. And now you're moving into this period of time where I don't know, I feel like the sun is out. The sun is on your behalf. Everything is illuminated. But even your face, your morals, and in the sun there are twins, so I don't know, we'll see. I feel like wherever you're going, there's people waiting in line. So I feel like there's no fear of spinning this wheel. The only fear may be the uncertainty of where it's going to land. But again, people standing in line almost like, spin the wheel already. And, it's interesting. All of a sudden, I feel like wherever you're heading, whatever you're moving into, I feel like it's something you've been before. Whether it be this lifetime or it really feels like a previous lifetime. Almost like something coming from that lifetime into this lifetime. It's not you going back, it's it coming forward. The devil, card of Capricorn. What's interesting is this image is a great image of, let's say, because we had twins right here and we have two right here. Um, but it's a great image of understanding how sometimes illusions can interfere in love. This is the devil's control over these lovers. and it is an illusion. And I love that the sun is right next to it. Now, for some of you, it could simply mean Capricorn. Like Capricorn truly needs a different card. Um, hmm, okay. So weird. All of a sudden, my hands are sweating. My hands never sweat. Like now, all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, I know what that means when someone says they have sweaty hands, sweaty palms. I never get that, and they're not really wet. They just feel it. All right. There's an illusion that they can't be together. Look at this perfect example. Look at that, the lovers. And look what's influenced the lovers. An angel, angel of love. Look at that. Look at the difference. Same lovers, completely different energy. Wow. That is interesting. It's almost like maybe these lovers, maybe this energy of not being able to be together. And again, even though it's illusionary, it feels very real. That kind of feels like that may have been like a past life. And the lovers card here, I feel is must be the present life. And what a difference of energy. Even the moon, like, which is, can talk about shadow. Hmm. Excuse me one second. Okay. I was just like looking at the cards again, and what I just realized is we have the masculine and the feminine and the masculine and the feminine together, and then together again. Different energies. But look at the theme, like the masculine and the feminine, different scenarios. It feels like different timelines. So, okay, this is interesting. The lovers, card of Gemini, um, the meaning is ahead of a hard decision, which can certainly be part of it. Though I kind of feel at the same time, I'm spinning the wheel. It feels like blind faith. Um, and I kind of let now, I see now when I look at the Hierophant behind the wheel, I feel like because the sun's underneath the Hierophant, it's like you're spinning like in the light, so to speak, which I feel like is, the way then the lovers come out. You know what I mean? I feel like so. I feel like we're going to go back to the Eight of Cups because it feels like the most important energy here. It was the clearing, right, of the past. And then even the willingness, to begin again or to begin. But the sun is like all around you. I feel like any shadow, good luck. Good luck. Do you know what that movie is from? Good luck. There's a new one I have. It's already done. It's already done. Anyway, let's keep going. What a reading, Aries. What a reading. I love these kind of readings. All right. We have the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords can be Gemini. It's following the lovers. Um, Libra, Aquarius. But can also be someone who, well, I feel like is using their voice. Like her sword is up. She looks like she's doing a mic drop. Like giving you the final piece. Or like, I don't know. I feel like she's doing a mic drop. Like, done. But she's speaking first. Okay. Interesting. Queen of Pentacles. I feel like they're the same person, to be honest. Queen of Pentacles is like the psychic detective. And then you put it with the Queen of Swords. We have the interesting Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is all about learning what you're learning along the way. It can talk about book smarts, but it usually, to me, well, it can talk about how you earn your money. This could also be someone who's younger. Like for some, I could see like a single mom with maybe a child. But I can't like I can't let go of the fact that I feel like this queen over here is like saying something. It's like the finale of something. And then mic drop. Okay. Queen of Swords. Look at him. He looks aggressive. Interesting because with Queen of Swords, now we have the King of Swords under the devil. Wow. And then we have interesting the Three of Cups. I'm just going to tell you the way that I'm feeling it. Like, I feel like I feel like these two queens are the same person. And I feel like it's like number one, I feel like this queen has this real belief in herself and trust within herself. And I kind of get this feeling of like, I know when I know when I know. Um, and who knows, this king could have been someone who, like shut down her voice when she's now found it and she's not shutting it down again. Like that's that. So that's what I feel, number one. And then we have the energy of joy and celebration. So I feel like this queen is proud of this. You know what I mean? It's like cutting ties, but for good. Again, this queen is done with something. And I feel like this queen is you, male or female. Okay. Let's look at the bottom of the deck. Hmm. We have the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles usually talks about one's foundation, kind of talking about one's home, money, strength card underneath that. We got a lot of air, Leo energy through your reading, I have to say. Which sometimes it can talk about like, the spotlight may be meant to be on you. Like this is your time, and no apologies for it. Okay, I feel like the Queen of Swords here, like this is my time. And this king again feels somewhat aggressive, but it's interesting because this could be someone who is like influenced by, you know, or could be someone who just chooses to live life a certain way, but it may not match your way, how you see things, or maybe even how you're starting to see things. Again, the page is all about learning, but I feel like a lot of it is spirituality. And the sun, the illumination, I feel like it's absorbing. Someone may disagree with you, but I feel like I don't care. I can't help but think that some of you, you have the Three of Cups under the Lovers. And I don't know, I just feel like this king, I don't feel like he's part of the picture, to be honest. I don't feel like he's one of these lovers. But I do feel like he is being, I don't want to say influenced, because in a way I feel like it's the energy that he may choose, because I feel aggression. Yet I feel this queen over here, may have spent some time like, living life that way, but it's like, no. So I feel like you're making some changes. I'm just wondering for some of you, it's like these lovers, we know they're coming in, right? Or, let's just say you're converging on the same path. It's not always like someone knocking at your door, but somehow, some way, and it's almost like it's divine. Again, an angel's influence. And by the way, it's so funny because I was thinking to myself that today I wanted to do Aries archangels. Like, what archangels can you, or even angels, well, archangels right now, that you can call upon um, to really help you and guide you, because they need your invitation. Your spirit guides are always like, they're always sending you signs, but they've lived Earth before. So it's like higher realms, baby. I feel like in a way, it doesn't matter if, I don't know, I feel like you've been learning, whether you've been meaning to or not. It's just been kind of finding you. But I almost feel like it's getting you ready. It feels like it's what's giving this queen like the power to drop that mic. It's all because of the wheel, but yet the sun and the Hierophant. Okay. Well, let's bring in the Gilded Tarot. Let's go even deeper. I get this sense of real confidence within the two queens who again I feel like are one person. I get this sense of confidence, ability, wisdom, and it doesn't have to mean through degrees. It's just what I know, I know. Again, the Queen of Pentacles, I often call my psychic detective. And again, that wisdom is only being illuminated, but so is your faith. So, kind of feels like good luck with anyone who, again, I'm saying good luck with anyone who tries to come between you and what just feels like is probably meant to be. And you're probably feeling the calling, but that means you're probably ready, right? You're ready for the calling. Kind of like the Knight of Pentacles, like come at the right time. All right, well, hello, Ten of Cups. Hmm, look at that. But then the Devil. Interesting. So I have to be honest. Um, I don't feel like the Ten of Cups is the Ten of Cups any longer. And it doesn't mean you can't have the Ten of Cups. I just don't feel, July can be a good month for existing relationships to heal, but like through communication. But I feel there's too much resistance. And I also feel like, what was promised within, let's say, the beginning of a relationship doesn't feel like it manifested because, again, it feels like the shadow, or let's just say, almost like the willingness to, and again, this could be someone that like I tried to help. Somehow I found myself in a relationship and, and it could have gone to marriage. We do have the queen and the king of the same suit. It doesn't have to be. Um, but for some it may be. But here's the thing. I feel like, again, there's a real clarity over anything that's, let's just say of a shadow's nature. I feel like the light will always win. But I have to say, I feel like the shadow is really over this Ten of Cups. So I feel like that may have been illusionary. And you know what? I mean, it is what it is. Because I kind of feel like this Queen of Swords now. Like, I'm not going to sit here all day long and like rehash everything you've done. You know what you've done, but I know what I feel now. And, I feel like you're ending it. And some of you may be moving, some of you may not, but I do feel like it's ending, and I feel this sense of like, oh, wow. So in a way, I feel like this Queen of Swords is probably already checked out. And again, I do feel like it's you. And I know for some, I'm confusing you, but I really feel like you're all people. In a reading unless I can really feel it otherwise. And I have to say, my guides really do let me feel it. Like, I don't feel like you're the King of Swords. I guess there could be a few, but this would be eye opening then, because I don't feel you know, like I stepped up to the plate here at all. And the truth of the matter is, this person may never get it anyway. But so what? C'est la vie. What will be, will be. All right. I feel like with the sun, like, all around it, it's like I can't ignore it. I cannot. I can try. And I don't really see any energy where you're trying to ignore it. It's like it seems to me like you're really facing. Actually, it feels more like the adventure that you're going on. But maybe this is a little bit of like where you've been. You'll find yourself in the reading. And I mean that because I feel like different people will be at different places. And that may also be why people may hear it at different times, but really right when your soul's ready to hear it. All right. Well, hello, Ace of Wands. How about passion ignited, inspiration, and coming over the sun, epiphanies, ideas, Page of Pentacles below it? No wonder I felt that energy of like really absorbing, you know, even things I feel like are just put in front of you. I feel like the Hierophant has a little to do with that. It may be for some of you, it could be like about to open up your heart chakra. Maybe you had closed it down for a little while, and I totally get it after going through what some of you may have gone through. But again, this queen is mirrored by the energy of joy. So I feel like no matter what, it is like for some like heart chakras being activated. But listen, it's probably its destined time anyway. Again, some of you are already feeling that calling. Some of you may already be there. Look at that. So I felt the Knight of Pentacles energy in this reading. This does talk about the right time. It almost feels like, this is guardian angel energy. And it almost feels like Archangel Michael protecting you from anything that might be dark. Or maybe just the knowing of that, like that you have someone like Archangel Michael to protect you. And certainly invoke and ask for archangels, Another reason why I'll probably do your archangels next. But this really speaks about the right time. And it's interesting because it's coming over the devil, but it's also coming over the wheel. So that's kind of beautiful. And it's looking right at the Ace of Wands. So, it's ever being activated in the Ace of Wands. Remember, the Ace of Wands is also like go time, action. So, some of you, it's like you're putting something into action. You're putting yourself into action. Or there's going to be something because 5, right? A change. But yet, I feel like there's nothing for you to fear. All right. We have, look at that. Temperance. First of all, you have a lot of major arcanas in your reading. So you may be going through some major changes right now. But I feel like they're all for your benefit. Really, I do feel that way. Temperance first message is about patience. And then it's about divine timing. It's about trusting in divine timing. You have two energies side by side that really do talk about when it's time, it's time. And now temperance being right over the lovers, where a lot of times you'll see temperance mixing the energy of 2 cups, and I often feel like she's making sure that, soulmate energy, like both cups are equally filled before they come together. Doesn't mean like I'm perfectly healed. Life is hard. And, that's why we want to keep in mind that we were given a whole spiritual team and it's evolving. Um, and for some of you, I feel like, boy, you know that, and you're taking advantage of the energy. And I feel like you are manifesting, baby. But again, it's like some of you is like you're answering a call, you're feeling it, and you're following it. That's the thing. You're feeling it and you're following it. And that may be what makes some like give the final mic drop. All right. We have the Queen of Cups. Interesting. We have all these queens down here. And then we have the Star. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. But it's about manifesting that. And now we add the Queen of Cups into the mix. And this is your emotions. But it's interesting how I'm noticing like her two little dogs, who I definitely feel are spiritual. And I don't know why, but I'm noticing like they feel balanced. Like one's on one side, one's on the other side. It makes me feel like the queen is balanced. So I feel like she feels emotionally balanced. She is holding a cup in her hand though. And then the star, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. You know, First of all, I like this coming of the Queen of Pentacles because I feel like, if you want to manifest your money, believe in yourself. That's what I feel like. Because I really feel like there's going to be things put before you that's going to pique your interest. And the next thing you know, you're going to follow that, which who knows where it leads? Who knows? In a way, you're kind of just writing your chapter. But I do feel like you're being guided here. And some are feeling that call, and some maybe not yet. But I feel this sense of like I have to believe it within myself. And I think like be willing to take that, whatever action is necessary. If things are not good, but I give no change, then why do I think things will change? They probably won't. But I feel like these queens know that. And I feel like the star is like, I feel like this Queen of Pentacles can take this star and multiply it. And I mean that like in your finances. So it's not just about love here, it's about your life, really, and your abilities. It's interesting because it's almost like the things I've been learning, unbeknownst to others, and maybe even unbeknownst to myself. But spiritually, I feel like you were meant to. And it really is like you giving the green light. In one way, we can say, oh, it feels like, we're waiting for destiny to open. But in a way, I feel like, well, the universe could flip that around and say, but in a way, we're waiting for you, right? This final mic drop. And listen, you don't have to like completely, totally trust in yourself because I feel like you have so much spiritual guidance here that really what you should trust in more than anything is your intuition because I feel like it will guide you. Okay. And I feel like the star give me many different things. It's like because I'm thinking like you may start man, like how I did podcasts this year. And I thought about it and thought about it and I thought, well, what am I waiting for? You know what I mean? Like the perfect moment. And I thought, well, now is the perfect moment. So I finally did it, really not knowing what I was doing. And the reason why I'm saying this because and it's even like the little short videos I make you. I'm definitely an amateur, but I'm learning more and more about audio. Though I do have to say that my nephew had a movie theater and I would come in and help him every once in a while, so I had to learn a lot. But anyways, I don't know, like I like making you these short movies. And it's funny, like a 3-minute movie can take 3 hours, but it's so worth it. And I think why I'm telling you this is because I just want you to believe that things that, like when is the perfect time? It feels like it's now. And look at this, 10 of swords. Wow. This means that you were living in the 10 of swords. That means you were taking sword after sword after sword. Look at this. So, whatever you're changing, it doesn't feel like it's having a negative effect on you. It's having a positive effect. These daggers, which at one time became like, let's say, blocks, challenges like obstacles, and maybe you just decided, okay, well, whatever. It's something. I'm telling you, energy is changing for you. And this is a great sign that, the things and the words and, let's just say I often feel this is like narcissistic type energy. This is no longer allowing it to have any effect on me. Some of you, it can be a learning process, but you'll figure it out. It's interesting. A siren's going off right now. I have no clue why. Hmm. It's almost like the Ace of Wands. Like, it's sounding the alarms. This is it. This is go time. We have justice. Wow. Okay, so sorry, King. I feel like I need to cut ties with you. I feel like living with you has left me in an unbalanced state, right? It didn't seem fair, just. It was, I feel like it was probably one sided. And interesting is the Knight of Pentacles is above that. Almost like I can't make you make this decision, right? Your spiritual team is saying that. But they certainly can illuminate the energy around it. Like, and for some of you, even a peek at your future. Some of you, this is a peek at your future. How do I know where I'm going? Follow the breadcrumbs. When justice shows up in a reading, it is about making you whole again. That's its ultimate goal. And I like those swords just like dropping out of your back. But you even learning from them, all of a sudden it's raining really hard. Interesting. Also card of Libra, which he is coming. Look at this. Oh my gosh. And then the Knight of Cups. How interesting. Over the Three of Cups. Under divine timing. Boy, that spinning of the wheel was everything. I feel like actually we need to go back because really where it all began was just being truthful with oneself. What needed to end. Why do I put off today? No. What's this saying? Um, when you procrastinate, you put things off when you could do them today. Anyway, I don't want to take us to a negative headspace because the Knight of Cups talks about an unexpected cup of fulfillment. Well, it's touching the lovers. It's coming over divine timing, which is connected to the wheel. It's also connected to the Knight of Pentacles. So it tells you it's the right time, but it does feel like the requirement was justice. Maybe you had to claim your own justice. And by claiming your own justice, well, that just got the alarms going. All right. It's interesting because I'm thinking, should I end it because it's raining really hard now? And I'm worried about losing power, but I'm not going to because I kind of want to follow this night. I mean, boy, I hope some of you are feeling this reading the way that I'm feeling it. We have the Three of Wands. Interesting. It's in reverse. It's like, do I want to keep it in reverse? And I think I should. That's optimism. That's living in the present moment. That could be where I was feeling procrastination. The Four of Wands can be resistance to like other ideas, but why I don't feel like that's you. I just don't feel like that's you. All right. So why is this optimism reversed? It's a lot of cards. I'm going to leave them. I'm going to take them the way they came out. We have the King of Pentacles. Interesting, coming right under the Queen of Pentacles. I'm going to slide those up. Hello, Fool. Hello, New Beginning. It's interesting because it's mirroring a 5, which is a change. But again, it just feels like someone, or maybe just who I've been hanging out with. Like somewhere along the way, it's like morals didn't match. Maybe even like how I saw my life. The Fool is taking a leap of faith, which is good to hear. We have, well, look at that. The Four of Wands over the King of Swords and Justice right above it. To some of you, it is a marriage. But listen, I'm not telling you anything you wouldn't already know. That's the thing. Like, that's not the kind of reading I do. I'm not like gonna shock you, like, oh my God. I do feel like for some, I am opening your eyes. Look at this. Look at this. Coming under the Knight of Cups, under Temperance, who, what did I say she was doing? Mixing the loving waters of these two cups, a soulmate. Soulmate. And look at them. Eye to eye, soul to soul. Same vibrational level. They get each other. And here, I feel like it was the king's way or the highway. So the queen's like, well, I'm choosing the highway. But, baby, I feel like this has been calling you. And yeah, this may be the end of one connection, but it is not the end of a connection because it's just the beginning of something brand new. But look at the energy now. It's completely different. It's all in the light. The only thing that's dark is in reversed. And how do I love the Fool is really also connected to the star, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. But then taking that leap of faith on, first of all, yourself in your life. Even, it's interesting because the Three of Wands is like, and I feel like, well, you have to be willing to jump into the Fool's energy. And maybe I feel like, the one thing the Fool does is he does extract the wisdom. He or she does extract the wisdom of my experiences, of, let's say, the last 9 years. Remember, we're opening up a brand new 9 years. How do I want those 9 years to look? The Fool understands that I'm starting at the beginning. That's good. That's okay because it feels like there's so much freshness coming in, like fresh ideas, epiphanies, love. All right. Well, Ace of Swords. The Death card. Interesting. Kind of makes me feel like it's talking about past lives. Seven of Pentacles, what was always meant to be. This is about your tree of life. It's also an energy of patience. It talks about something that started as a seed is now coming to blossom. Like that means that there are certain seeds that they're now, you're able to pick them. You're able to, it's time. And this is your tree of life. Like these pentacles, they're your soul's intentions. They're the adventures your soul wanted to have. And it's kind of like just allowing the human self to follow. Look at that, the Empress. So your counterpart, I like that. We have the Four of Pentacles. The Moon, interesting. And then the Nine of Swords, which is interesting because I feel like what's happening here, first of all, I feel like this love that feels like it's coming in, that I feel like many of you are feeling called towards, though I don't know that you can put like a name to it yet. It's just like energy. It's like you feel it in your soul, right? It's calling to you. But I also feel about taking chances on yourself. Like there is not a better time, right? Like that's why I'm feeling Leo so much. Like the spotlight is on you, baby. Do not allow people to come between you and your dreams. You know, just, and then I feel like the death card with soulmates and the wheel, it's talking about past lives. It's the difference. It's the lovers with the angels over them now, the angels of light. These lovers completely naked can be completely who they are. No need to wear a mask. They're probably very much alike. You know, when I think of the Empress, creative, right? And I feel like that's what it wants you to believe in. But think of the Empress also as someone who is loving and nurturing. Like she doesn't build up walls. And the Ten of Swords falling out is like there's no need to build up walls. Some of you, the Nine of Swords is interesting. Like, why would it come out right there? And I feel like the only reason it came out is for some of you, just ask yourself, like, if you've given someone a title, and then told yourself that's why you're staying with them, but they're treating you like shit. Because I don't feel like a true soulmate, unless it's a karmic soulmate. But I'm really not even finding evidence of that. Like, I just don't feel like they would treat you in, you know, well, let's just put it this way. You got to know what you deserve. And you got to almost demand it, maybe, but not in a, like, boom, like, this is what I deserve. The Empress just uses her energy. There's the feminine again. How interesting. So, I feel like I'm going to let that be, but I am going to bring out the clarifying love situations. I feel like I don't want to push this too much, and I don't want to lose power. Some of you, I feel like, you may be in this period where you're asking yourself, like, really some serious questions. But don't be afraid of that. Interesting. It's like came sideways, so which way is it? Well, I feel like we'll read both. So, veiled pass. Face the mystery of uncharted passages with the courage to explore unknowns. I feel that with the queens. Face the mystery of uncharted passages with the courage to explore the unknowns. And then unlock the gate, explore the unknown, and walk new paths together. Interesting. It's almost like it's calling for you first, and then two of you. And it's like you're creating, where did these lovers go? Well, they're creating it as they go. But they're letting passion lead the way. I'm not going to lie, it feels very romantic. But I just don't want to promise that for everyone. Um, but yeah, I feel like in a way it's showing you like how can you get to that energy? And that's really what it is. It's about the claiming of your energy. The Empress really doesn't let anyone come between her and her dreams. And when I think of the Empress, I think of the vibration. Remember, these soulmates, whoops, these soulmates, They're definitely on the same vibration. That's why they're looking eye to eye. And I feel like it's a must. But it doesn't mean like you fall in love and that's the end of you and your creativity and what you've been building. No, it's just the beginning. That's what I feel like. It's just the beginning. All right. Inner compass. Trust your instincts to lead you in the right direction. Beautiful. Inner compass. Trust your instincts to lead you in the right direction. Futures embrace. Seize profits. Seize prospects. Absorb wisdom. Exactly what I've been feeling. And spring into action for your ambitions. Wow. Futures embrace. Seize prospects. Absorb wisdom. And spring into action for your ambitions. Wow. Everything is leading you. Like everything we're getting, it's about how you're being leaded or led. But how it keeps talking about the wisdom of where you've been. Like, and maybe that's why we've been the reading saying like we have to know where we've been to understand, where we're going. And it doesn't mean like bringing where we've been along for the ride. It just means we want to learn from it. So anyway, wow. It just feels like, I just want to say like top notch, like in every aspect. But it didn't come easy. That's the thing. None of this came easy. It took courage, truth, illumination, trust, faith, action, but trusting your intuition, and maybe that's been a journey. And now you're trusting more and more in it. It's definitely asking for you to trust in it and then to follow it. Trust your instincts or your intuition to lead you in the right direction. It's exactly what it's trying to do. So I'm going to let that be. Aries, water reading. So I guess when I said July was going to be great, I feel like just hang on to your hat. That's just the beginning. And, shadow be lifted. I love you guys. I thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye. Just hang in there. Hang in there.